everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Saturday, February 12th, and many of you may be celebrating the Valentine's Day this weekend. So I thought I'd bring out the flowers in honor of Valentine's Day. All right, on our show today, we have Made Pro with Ron and Paula Ledwin, and they are going to tell us all about their system and how they go about cleaning. And then we talk with Annie and Willie of the African American Heritage Club in honor of Black History Month. So we'll talk a little bit about what that means to them and the club. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our weekend weather. Nice weather, really nice this weekend. 83.55 today with lots of sunshine. 79.55 tomorrow, and then on Monday, 73.53. We are looking at pleasant skies. And if you are traveling this weekend and heading out to our local beaches, really nice. 78.58, Santa Barbara, pretty warm. 78.50, and San Diego, 77.52. Tahoe, 51.25, Mammoth, 48.20. Big Bear, 57.27. There is still snow on those mountains up there in Mammoth and Tahoe nonetheless. Palm Springs, a nice 85.58, and Las Vegas, 72.45. Our sunrise this morning was at 6:38, and our sunset will be at 5:33. And Alan, thank you so much for sending in this photo of two little friends that you regularly see here in the village are some ducks. So thanks for sending that in. And if you have a photo that you would like to share with our community, please email it to Laguna Woods Village tv@gmail.com. All right, when we come back, we will be talking to Made Pro, so stick around.
Picking someone to clean your house is a big decision. After all, they'll be inside your house and touching virtually everything you own. Sadly, though, not all cleaning professionals are actually real pros. Like this person you found online who uses the same sponge in the kitchen they use in the bathroom. If you're looking for a local family-owned business with amazing customer service, contact Made Pro for a free estimate. Made Pro, when you're ready for a real pro.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Ron and Paula, who are here on behalf of Made Pro. Well, hello, you two. How are you today?
Good, thank you. Good. Glad to be here. How are you?
Good, good. Now, we talked a little bit off camera before we came online. You know, with the challenges of COVID, I mean, most, like you mentioned, small businesses are having, difficulties getting staff, which, you're not immune to. I think we all are experiencing something like that. But, you have basic principles that you guys follow no matter what happens in your business. But before we get to that, tell me a little bit about what Made Pro is.
Well, Made Pro we are a professional cleaning service. We are part of a franchise. There are, I believe, about a little bit over 250 locations nationwide. Paul and I are husband and wife, and we own the South Orange County office. So we do Laguna Woods Village, and we do the majority of South Orange County. But we are a premier house cleaning company.
How many people usually go out on a job?
Paula structures that, and it really depends on the size of the house, right?
Yes, it depends on the size of the home. If a job is more than 5 hours, it would be two. We call them pros here, cleaners. If it's less than the 5 hours, it'll be one person coming to the home.
Okay, all right. So it kind of varies depending on probably what is needed and like you said, the size of the location. So, yeah. All right, good. Now, one thing that you guys pride yourself on is an inspection checklist. And yours is very long, so we won't go through all of the items. However, maybe just highlight some things that you think are really important that everyone should take into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, we could both chime in on this. I know it's going to be a little difficult to see, but yeah, it is very long. But it's a good thing that it's very long. So it's 49 points on this, and this is our signature clean that our cleans are all wrapped around. So they go after this. And this checklist pretty much guarantees that your home will be clean from top to bottom. And it's 49 points. There's a lot, but there's some things that sometimes clients want something else added onto it. And if that's the case, you just let us know and we'll try to address it the best we can. This is not always left behind, but our pros take it with them so they know exactly. But if the customer wants it left behind, we can definitely do so. Is there any points on here you think that stand out the most?
I think our customers that are not home typically love having this checklist because, you know, they want to know what happened while we were there. So that's the ones when we leave it there. It's just a standard checklist, and anything that is requested, like that's not included, it's on there, it's on the list. So they can kind of see, oh, this wasn't done. Oh, it's because it's not part of the checklist, kind of. And they can request it at a later time or even call and we can add it on.
And our cleans are, like I said, are all built around this. Yeah. And tailored. And again, it's broken down by kitchen, by bathrooms, by bedrooms, and then other living areas, including hallways. It's all, there's points under each one.
Okay. That, you know, that's good because I think oftentimes we meet with an individual to clean our house or maybe do our yard, and you outline all these things at the beginning, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're months down the line, like, whatever happened to that? And how come they're not doing that anymore? Right. So that's really a good idea to have a checklist. And so then you can always reference it. So that's a really good idea. What are some, you know, top, I guess, Paula, what are some things that people are surprised by your services?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm surprised.
Like maybe they were surprised, like, oh, I didn't think you would do that, or I'm so happy that you do this.
Well, I know one thing that they're surprised that we don't do is we don't clean inside your fridge unless you request it. Okay. We do the outside exterior appliances in the kitchen. They are surprised when we clean the, people usually have like a patio or something like that, glass sliding doors, and we clean the little, what's that called, the railing part on the bottom.
Rack. Yeah.
Yes, they're sort of like, wow, you do that? Like, yeah, we try to.
Because, you know, I think oftentimes dirt gets caught in there and you just don't think about it. And so that's awesome when I would be totally surprised if I opened the door and went, oh, look how clean that is. So that's a great one. That's a good one.
I think the surprise is we even get our house cleaned when we have extra staff to do it. And I think the surprises are the best thing. You kind of look around and you're like, oh, look at that. Like even if it's something just small, but it's that nice little surprise touch that just like you kind of light up for.
Right, exactly. Now, I know you have many clients in Laguna Woods Village, and obviously the housing styles vary from manor to manor. And, you know, are there any particular challenges that you guys have had in the village, like some things that you go, wow, I didn't think it was going to be that, but then it worked out?
You know,
I'm asking tough questions.
No. What was interesting is some of the residents in Laguna Woods are asking for laundry services, which we can, you know, do a load in while we're there. But some of the laundry is offsite. So we're like, oh, okay, which we can do because it's like usually down the driveway. Yeah. But we didn't encounter that. We weren't thinking about that when we offered it. So other than that, yeah.
But that's a nice service because, you know what, maybe you have a resident who isn't very mobile and if they need your assistance. I think that's great. And like you said, everything's on the table. You just have to go over it with your estimate. And then if there's extra things, you could certainly add that to your list, right?
Exactly. Yep.
That's awesome. So estimates, how does somebody get an estimate?
Super easy. Go for it.
They can call our 949-699-6993 number, and they can either get the sales center, which will do a really good, thorough estimate, or they can call me, the local office. I know Laguna Woods, so I can kind of give them a better idea, I think sometimes. Or they can even email or call. I mean, you can reach us all those 3 ways or 4 ways.
Now,
no contract. So it's you get a free estimate. It's up to you. And if you want to book it for a one-time clean or a monthly or bi-weekly. So that's what's great. There's no contract required. And yeah, the estimate, I love the phone number because those are pros that really know what you're looking for. And so they can they'll listen to you, they'll listen to anyone what their particular needs, and they'll be able to give you a very a very good quote and estimate how long it'll take at the same time.
So the estimate is over the phone. They don't have to physically come to the location?
Most are done on the phone. Yeah, sometimes we get clients that request someone to come out there to take a look at it, but we've been doing this for so long that we could have a pretty, and we'll adjust it too. If the quote came in a little bit too high, and then we get there and they come back and tell Paula, hey, it only took 3 hours instead of 4 hours, and then we adjust the total price.
Gotcha. Okay, excellent. Now, you know, trying to run a service like this, like you mentioned, is, you know, it's difficult as a small business, but you are part of a larger a family of cleaning services. Do you find that that is helpful to you?
Yeah, I mean, we'll come at it from two different angles, because I'm more on the marketing side and on the business development. Absolutely. Being part of a franchise is just, you're not alone, because the problem with, you know, sometimes when you're in a small business, it can get overwhelming and you feel like you're alone. And we have to consistently, although we've been doing this for years, we have to remind ourselves that we're not alone. It's like having an extended family with cousins all over the United States. You know, everyone has been through the same issues, you know, so we all get together. We have monthly calls with a marketing team. We have weekly calls with offices that are around here in Southern California, and we all just share and brainstorm ideas. I mean, and we have annual conventions where we talk about cleaning products and different ways and to clean things, and, you know, just ideas. And it's continuing improving the company, which is amazing. You know, it's as much help as you need, it's there. And we're all just, every office just continues to push each other to be better and better.
Okay. I think that's a nice way to look at it, because, you know, you could hire a small company or just an individual, and then who knows if something goes wrong, like then what kind of recourse do you have? Where at least you guys are part of a larger group, where if there was something that happened, that they would be able to have recourse. Also, when you talked about the cleaning products, you know, you probably learned about the latest and greatest, like you mentioned. What kind of cleaning products do you guys use? And if somebody was, you know, allergic or had super sensitive skin, do you accommodate?
Yes, we use hospital grade disinfectant cleaners. They're Procter and Gamble. Yes, if people call us and they have an allergy, we either, you know, buy something that they like, or they provide. So
okay.
Accommodate anything. We actually do have a lot of customers that have really bad allergies, and I mean, they don't even want us to go in with our shoes, because just in case there's like dog hair or even our vacuum. So we leave all that out. We just go, we make sure we have, you know, all our towels are freshly laundered every day. So everything is clean. So when we walk in, he doesn't have to, this customer, worry that something's going to happen. So yeah.
Well, that's good. I always like to have a special type of smell in my home. So I always like that carpet brush stuff, you know, so I'm not allergic to it, but nonetheless, at least when I walk in, I'm like, oh, I just love that smell. Yeah, so that's how it always smells so clean. So that's great. All right. Well, I love it. Well, thank you both for meeting with me today. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Lisa, for having us on. And thank you to Laguna Woods Village. We appreciate all of you. So thank you so much.
All right. And if you want more information about Made Pro, you can always go to madepro.com. We'll be right back. As I mentioned, we have Annie and Willie here on behalf of the African American Heritage Club. Well, welcome both of you. It's so nice to see you and nice to have you with us. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having us.
It's great to be here.
You're welcome. Now, of course, February is known for all sorts of things. We have President's Days, and we have Valentine's Day, and of course, the whole month is dedicated to African American Black History Month. So tell me a little bit about why it is important and what it is.
Okay, well, Black History Month, when I'm asked about Black History Month, the first thing that comes to my mind is, why isn't there a White History Month? Or a brown, red, or Yellow History Month. And it's because, in my opinion, and the opinion of a lot of historians, the history of the human story has been whitewashed and edited down through the years. We've been led to believe, a lot of us so-called Afro-Americans, that our history started when we came here in slavery. But if you study history, you'll find that there were Black Americans here, Black people here in America, as far back as 500 BC. A lot of other things. You'll find that the richest person that ever lived was Mansa Musa of Mali, an African king that was worth the equivalent of $400 billion here today.
Wow.
And we'll find, I look around and I see things like the Game of Thrones, and in the Game of Thrones, the only Black people are slaves. The only brown people are savages that eat hearts. When I was a little kid, I watched the cartoon, The Jetsons, and that's the future of the human race, and there weren't any Black people in it. So I began to think that we have been miseducated, that we've been edited out, and we need to know the story not only of Black history of Americans here in America, but the world history, the entire, complete human story. So it's important to me that we get educated truly for what how we got to where we are today. The systematic editing out of us has brought us to a place where we're in this complete disarray right now. So it's important for us to study true human history on a global scale so that we can get a true picture of where we are and where we need to go. And to me, that's what history is all about, to tell us where we've been and where we're going.
Well, exactly, and something that you mentioned, you know, if you go through schooling, you know, you start elementary and then you go on, right? I don't think you really see many of the different types of religions as well as the different cultures until you get to college, if you end up going to college. Because then you take classes like world religions and a variety of other classes that really open up your eyes to a lot of different things, kind of like what you mentioned. They do highlight some things that you would not have heard otherwise. So good point, good point. Now, this month highlights not just, you know, movies like we're going to be talking about, but achievements of lots of different people that, like you said, date way back. So what are some of those achievements?
Actually, and thank you for asking that. That's a really, really good point, which also goes right back to Black History Month. And like Willie was talking about earlier, a lot of our history has been left out of the history books. And what we see oftentimes in modern times were movies about slavery and racism. And there's a much more richer history of our people than slavery. And so this month is an opportunity to highlight some of those achievements. And while, you know, people in our community have achieved in sports, we've achieved in medicine, achieved in politics, in every area that every other human being has achieved in, our culture has achieved also. And so I just wanted to highlight just a couple of the achievements that that we like to highlight for the month of February, because the whole month is dedicated to Black History Month.
Okay.
And so a couple of people that I'd just like to highlight. One is Dr. Daniel Hale, and this is a Black physician who performed the first open heart surgery back in 1893.
Wow.
And you probably will only find that if you Google it. You won't find it in any of the history books.
Wow.
And another important achievement that we like to highlight is Dr. Mae Jemison, who was the first Black woman in space. And that was in 1992. She actually traveled in the space endeavor.
I love it. And like I said off camera, I was telling you that one of my favorite movies is, you know, Hidden Figures. So it reminded me of that because there were so many Black African American ladies who contributed to the NASA program. And so I was like, saw 1992, I thought it would be earlier than that.
No.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't. And it just goes to show so much of our history is lost because it wasn't part of the original history books. And there's what's the opportunity for people to learn about our history, which is really American history as well. It's not just isolated to Black history like Willie mentioned. It is American history.
Exactly.
And as long as we leave out parts of history, we as a country are not given a complete depiction of how this country was actually formed and actually how this country continues to run.
All right. Now, we also talk about the movies, and of course, we have dedicated all of our movies this month. to Black History Month. Is there any in particular movies that you wanted to point out
Well,
that you loved or that you would recommend?
Actually, I have a whole list, and these are going to be playing for the whole month of February. One of my favorite is Black Panther, and of course, we lost Chadwick Boseman a couple of years ago to colon cancer. An amazing, amazing movie about people, Black people, and it depicts the characters as human characters, not as savage beasts, which is where a lot of our characters were portrayed early on in television. Another one of my favorite, and this one goes back, In the Heat of the Night with Sidney Poitier.
Yeah.
We lost him a couple of weeks back. And so Sidney Poitier was very, very instrumental in putting a Black face to the movie industry, putting a Black face to achieving Academy Awards. And he was one of our amazing trailblazers in my lifetime.
Now, Willie, what about you? Any particular movies that kind of stand out to you?
Well, I like Roots. My wife has yet to see it. I was speaking with Annie earlier, and she doesn't like it. Watching those type of movies, but I do because it makes us more conscious. It lets us know what has been going on, what is still going on, and what needs to change. So I like those type of movies. I was talking with one of my neighbors, a Jewish guy in his 80s that I play golf with every Friday. He had never heard of Emmett Till until a few weeks ago. I was talking to a white friend of mine that's a lady, 80 plus years old. She had never heard of the Black Wall Street Massacre. So it's a lot of things like that just to get the information out there. And then it will motivate people to want to start doing something positive for the human race instead of just the white or the Black or so-called other colored races.
Right. Now Roots is a long one, though. You got to really space out your time to watch that one.
Yeah, but that's one of my favorites because it kind of gives us a depiction of what we've come through.
Exactly. Yeah. And then now the African American Heritage Club itself, what is it made up of, and what do you guys do?
Well, the African American Heritage Club was formed actually by Dr. Fran Williams, who has moved out of the community recently. But she wanted, when she moved here into this community, she wanted to create an environment where she felt that she would belong and where she would be surrounded by people of like minds. So she started the African American Heritage Club back in 2014 for the purpose of acknowledging our contributions, for celebrating our contributions, and then educating anybody about the plight of the African American people. So the club is formed by Dr. Fran, and it meets monthly. And each month we strive to do something educational, to educate people about the culture. And anyone can be a part of the African American Heritage Club. It is not exclusive to African Americans only. It's for anyone who's interested in learning about our heritage and our culture.
Now, you said you meet monthly. Is there any particular week or?
We meet the third Saturday of every month.
Saturday, okay.
Yeah, in Clubhouse 5.
Oh, Clubhouse 5, all right.
This month, we're not actually having a meeting, an in-person meeting. We wanted to be mindful of COVID and the precautions. And so the club opted not to have any kind of an in-person event for safety precautions.
But futuristically, you will have more getting together type events?
Absolutely, we do. And we recently had a huge major event last year when President Biden signed into law Juneteenth, making it a national holiday, a federal holiday. And so we had that. We had an amazing celebration. A representative from City Council came and just acknowledged Juneteenth.
Yeah, you had a break there. We all had a break there where we didn't have to do much with the COVID, and then all of a sudden we had to change everything again. So, well, good. Well, I'm glad you're able to meet via Zoom.
Yes, we're going to meet.
And now, if somebody was interested in your club, what should they do? Should they go to the Laguna Hills website?
Yes, we are on the Laguna Hills website under clubs, and just click on club, and you'll see the African American Heritage Club.
Excellent.
On there, and we put an ad in the Globe once a month to let you know basically what activities the club is going to be participating in.
Okay.
Now,
excellent.
one thing that's really I forgot to mention is at the next City Council meeting, I believe it's February 9th, the City Council is going to acknowledge again the African American Heritage Club. They will acknowledge February is Black History Month.
Oh, good. And that's on the 9th?
It's on the 9th. I believe it's the 9th. It's
Yeah.
at the next Laguna Hills, Laguna City Hall meeting.
Wonderful.
Yes.
That's great. Well, thank you both so much. I appreciate you sharing all the information with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. This
You're
is
welcome,
great.
and we'll be seeing you again.
Yes.
All right, if you want more information about the African American Heritage Club, of course, you can go to the Laguna Woods Village website, go to clubs, and since it starts with A, it'll be at the top of the list. We'll be right back. Our Saturday movie for today is Ali, and I think you will really enjoy that. And of course, that is a classic movie, and it does star Will Smith with wit and athletic genius. With defiant rage and inner grace, Muhammad Ali forever changed the American landscape. You can catch that today at 2 p.m. with subtitles, 6 p.m. without subtitles. That is brought to you by Adapt to It. All right, just a couple of quick announcements. We have the Christian Women's Connection called Love in the Air. Love is in the Air, and that will be on Tuesday, February 15th in Clubhouse 1. You will want to get in touch with Chris Ramirez, 949-246-1053. Then we also have a February food distribution on Wednesday, and that is put on by the Saddleback Church of Laguna Woods. And that will be Wednesday, 9 to 10:30 at the United Methodist Church. And then lastly, I wanted to just remind you that the Theater Guild is doing a fun event on February 17th called I Am Me First Love, and that'll be in Clubhouse 5. If you want more information about that, theaterguildlw.com. All right, weather looking very nice. Let's take a look at our 3 days here. We are looking at lovely temperatures today, tomorrow, and Monday with a possibility of showers on Tuesday. 83-55, 79-55, and then Monday 73-53. If you are traveling, you want to take a look at these numbers. Beaches are looking very nice in the high 70s. Tahoe, Mammoth, and Big Bear all in the high 40s, low 50s. Big Bear is a little bit warmer. Palm Springs 85 and Las Vegas 72. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll be back here on Monday on Valentine's Day. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.